Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Don Pod. I'm here with Nathan to talk about Port Adelaide. Hello, Nathan.
Hello, Sam. How are we?
I'm all right. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right. No, good. Thank you.
That is good to hear.
Had sausage rolls for dinner, so that's pretty good.
Nice. Sorry, just already reading the comments. That's a good start to the night. Good weekend. Sans football.
Yes, very good weekend. Thank you, Sam. But that's not what we're here for.
Well, we can be us for
Let's
5
not
seconds
be us, Sam. Let's be better
before we talk about football. Speak for yourself there, champ.
Rob, I'm speaking to you as well, Sam.
All right. Anyway, Port Adelaide 9 goals 12 to Essendon 6 goals 14. A real slog in the wet. I have to admit, I did try a new way of watching it this week, and that was I didn't. Just some life things got in the way, so apologies for that. I've watched some highlights and seen some moments. So
just commitment, Sam. Got to question your commitment.
Sometimes
this is one of those moments where you're not chasing down defenders or you're not getting back into defence, Sam.
Sometimes at 4:40 on a Sunday, it's just a bit hard.
It is a bad time for football.
It's a terrible time.
Not my favourite time for football.
Look, if we'd won, I probably would have watched the replay, but yeah, I don't apologise.
We nearly won.
Sorry, guys and girls. All right, disposals. Parish 39. It's a handy game in the wet. Merritt 27, Hine 26, and Rusty Martin 25. Goals, all singles to Martin, Jones, Waterman, Durham, McGrath, and Phillips. For Port Adelaide, don't really care. Wines 29, Amon 25. The only multiple goal scorer of the game, of course, Charlie Dixon. The rest singles 4. And wait for it. Powell Pepper, Dumont, Butters, Marshall, Rosie, Finlayson, and Motlop. Interestingly, Powell Pepper kicked 1 goal 4.
Yeah.
It was a bit of a nightmarish sort of day.
Probably the best player for them until he went off with, I think it was a hamstring. I'm not sure he went off. I don't remember.
Sorry, just choked on my Now, obviously, like I said, I didn't watch it, so this is going to be very much you driven. I have seen little bits and bobs, so I'm going to try and just direct the conversation as best I can. Darcy Parish, 39 touches in the wet. From what I've seen, very clean ball. What did you think? What did you make of him?
Look, he was very good. The highlight for me was the quarter time siren sounded, and he had a go at. Now I'm not sure if it was Kelly or who he's having a go at. Have you seen that bit?
I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen the footage. Yeah.
And then Heppel comes in, and you could see Parish wanted to say more, but he sort of backed away. And then Heppel's like, so he sort of let rip with sort of arm gestures and what looked to be. And I tried to watch the bit of footage today, before it to see what led up to it. And what was interesting in the background, which I didn't notice in this bit, that Merritt's also turned around and given Hind a barrel for not following his man down because that contest when the siren sounded, if the ball had gone out, that Port Adelaide had a loose player. So but that's another thing to discuss how we defended. So my highlight for Parish was a really good game, but I can see there's passion in there for the way he's playing and the way his team's playing, and that's a great thing for me. I that's what we wanted to see.
Yeah, I saw it last night after the game and have seen it throughout today. It's getting mostly negative press, which is bizarre. I'm all for it.
Why?
I don't know. I've seen just a couple of headlines because I Googled some stuff before and it said that there was a bomb was great.
We want to see them.
Exactly. Even if I'm happy. Fly the flag.
Yeah, if they're fracturing, relationships because of this, that's okay. They're speaking their mind on the field about incidents. That's great. That shows that they care and that somebody thinks that the right thing isn't happening.
Yeah. And it was a bit of passion and a bit of the first time we've seen the I'm hurting, we're hurting.
Yeah. Instead of we're hurting.
I don't mind that. Like,
and teammates we used to love it with Goddard.
Crack the shits at each other and get over it and move on. Like, it's not like they're not going to be best mates tomorrow.
They're big boys. Yeah. Big boys can say things to other big boys. They can
have a dig in the heat of a game and be okay. And it's good. Like I said, I was a big fan of Goddard. I know he's a divisive
Yep.
bloke.
I liked what he was trying to do. I have no problem with that.
The problem with Goddard was he didn't deliver on it himself sometimes.
That was often his
but at least he demanded the best, and that's what Parish was trying to do there. And you said to me this afternoon that Heppel's approach as captain in that moment seems to be a pretty good commentary on him as a captain. He didn't really want to engage in it. Like, he didn't seem comfortable with that sort of confrontation.
Yeah.
He was trying to simmer it down and be like let's just
be nice, let's be loving.
Yeah, let's be nice. That's probably the sentiment. Let's be nice.
I don't know Dyson Heppel. I've never met him.
Really?
And I don't know if this is anything like he is, but he seems like a very nice guy. And I don't know if he's able to say the hard things to people. He's more about, let's, great effort today, boys. Let's bring it together. We lost by 100 points, but it's really love each other and be close. Whereas I think it's sometimes,
yeah.
It's a different generational thing too, but you need a little bit of shout and spray and say, no, come on, lift your F and this and F and that.
I've said that on truck. Just give him a spray once or twice. Like, it's not the end of the world. But Heppel's the same. You're right. Nice guy. Probably fewer nice guys in footy, like genuinely. He seems to be a really chill kind of bloke. But as a leader of a football club, sometimes you're going to have to say some things that are negative.
On that moment, I then had a thought as I went for my next beer.
Dangerous, yes.
And I've never thought of this. Could Darcy Parish be our next captain?
Based on that, and that alone, probably.
That's just one thing.
I haven't. When Heppel came to the club, it was pretty clear. You could just look at him and go, yep, that's our guy. That's the next captain of this football club.
Because he inherited it from Watson, didn't he?
Yes, that's right. Yeah. I've never seen Parish in that same way, but I've never really seen anyone else on our list in that same way.
No, I struggled to see our next captain in that list. And
maybe McGrath in his first year, but...
Yeah, but it was that moment. Well, McGrath was great in the game for flying the flag. Like, that message has obviously got through. Like,
good.
Was it a few games ago when that didn't happen to Shield?
That message has... We should be, like, big boy mentality.
We're just a bit slow. And what we need is the members or, the supporters to be driving the culture and everything, because we obviously know what's going on.
Yeah, we're great. Right, good game, Das. Maybe future captain. We'll see. The next one is our boy 2.0, because our boy 1.0 was pretty awful. Our boy 2.0 and Rusty Martin.
Yeah, he had a great game again.
25 touches and a goal. Could have been a couple more goals too. Just when he sort of faded for a couple of weeks, he's been pretty average the last few weeks, and I sat there and went, yeah, fair enough. Like, he's had a start to his career and he's the kid. And
he's covering a lot of Ks too. If you look at his data, he's in the top 3 or 4 sometimes of distance, which is unbelievable for a guy.
Making excuses for the guy, and then he comes out with 25, playing with a dry ball, really.
And just classy again. It's a Pendlebury-like, sort of decision-making that I see. Like, he got pinned by a tackle at one stage. That's fine. And another stage, he sort of gave a bit of a dodgy handball. Oh, well, actually, I think the player that received it made it look dodgier. But other than that, like, he just makes a lot of good decisions. When he gets the ball, he's the sort of guy I go, oh, good, he's got it. There are players that do that. You go, oh, he's got it. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. It's like when Peter Wright's got a set shot, you go, okay, this is going to be fine.
He could be right on the fence, 60 out, and you'd go, yeah, he's a chance.
And I used to think that about Harry Jones too, and I'd forgotten about that because he'd been away for so long. And he missed his first and then kicked the second, which was in the wet.
That was a lovely set shot.
Lovely kick. And I remember, that's when I went, that's right. He's a really good set shot. I forgot about that. It's good to have.
He took out
another one.
Sorry, we're kind of digressing from Martin. If you took out his first game last year where he kicked 0-4, he kicked like 20 goals too or something insane for the season.
Like 15 straight, didn't you, at one stage?
And there wouldn't be many that were on the run. So there'd be mostly set shots from him, I imagine. But yeah, Rusty Martin, lovely guy. As you said, Pendlebury-like.
Yep. But I think the thing we should discuss is our defence.
Well, let me just go through some individuals because we need to talk about the individuals. Sammy Durham, studs.
Oh, tell you what, his marking really stood out to me.
Yep.
One-on-ones and a couple of pack marks, just really great hands. And it's little moments like that you see a bit of an evolution in a player and you go, oh, hang on. Now I see something a bit better and a bit...
And to be honest, he kicked a really nice goal too. It was top of the goal square, but it was opportunistic and just quick on the boot.
Kept himself upright and didn't get pulled down exactly.
With guys like that, who he would be not older than 20, I wouldn't have thought.
I wouldn't imagine he's not very old.
That's what I'm after. Yeah. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, exactly.
Just little glimpses of, hey, this guy could be our wingman.
It's development in the players. And to go further, if you look at the, like, Reed played another really solid game. Again, a few things, not great, but again, game 5 or whatever he's after. The other one I'll mention was Archie Perkins.
Okay, yep.
Who had the most CBAs, which is phenomenal that all of a sudden, and I think at the point too, we won the first quarter, I think its clearances were 15-2 or something like that. So we were really dominating when he was in there a lot.
That's a good segue. One thing on him first. Do you find it interesting that that's all of a sudden he's getting that midfield minutes? Like
his numbers have gone from like 3.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Why?
18.
Where's that come from? Why now?
Well, it's really interesting because, I mean, if you look at the data, and I've got it here actually, who was pushed out. So, hang on. I'll just
love that from you. If you look at the data, which I have here.
What does it have here? So he attended 84% of our CBAs. And the next best was sort of Parish and then Shield and Merritt. But before that, so he'd had 18%, none, and 6%. But he pushed out, so who's that at 77%? McGrath. So they've kicked McGrath out of the midfield. And maybe he's played a half-back role. I'm not sure. Maybe a wing role.
McGrath's interesting as well, though, because we kind of accepted that he was playing on half-back.
Yeah.
Last week, I think, against Richmond, he had a pretty high number of centre-bounce attendances.
Yeah, he did.
And then last night, he was kind of half-back, but did kick a goal. Did kick a nice goal.
Kicked a very good goal, it was.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. I can accept it. Like, it's fine. If they're trying to work out what their best midfield is, no problem. But it seems weird that Perkins wouldn't have had a bit higher numbers previously. And with no major midfielder out now, why all of a sudden
there's a stringer in Lincoln.
They've been out for weeks, though.
Yeah, you're right. No one from last week. Yeah. I wonder, though, if that was something like to cover Redmond.
Oh, yeah. Good shout.
Redmond. Oh, yeah. Good shout. Thanks. I always got him. So to cover Redmond, maybe McGrath played a more halfback role, which dragged Perkins up into the... It's interesting. It wasn't Caldwell. It was Perkins. They were looking for that run, obviously, that he brings.
Well, Caldwell's
a bit more of a bull. Well, he didn't... There was one where he didn't get the clearance, but he got forward and got the mark and had the set shot, which I think he missed. I can't recall now.
He didn't kick a goal, so yeah.
Yeah, he missed. The first quarter, I reckon we had 3 gettable shots. I reckon Perkins was one. Waterman was another one. I reckon maybe Parish might add another one in there.
Jones missed a set shot from pretty much the same spot too, he kicked the goal from. That's one of the...
We could have been right in that game at the end of the first quarter and a bit of an arm wrestle in the second. We played well in the third. And then I think I think they really tightened up, and I think the pressure of the third quarter had got to them in the fourth, and the Port Adelaide had just really tightened up in they were playing an extra person in the midfield to try and deal with their clearance domination.
So on the Perkins point and about our defenders transitioning, missing goals, all that sort of stuff, the info that I got, and again, this is secondhand info, so I'm relying on you here.
Yeah, well, you rely.
Was we kicked 0-8 before we kicked a goal.
Yep. And Big Phillips.
At least half of them transitioned to goals down the other end.
So massive issue. It's been pretty much for one all year. Look, we tightened it up again, I would say, in the third quarter and possibly the last, if I looked at the data. Then
no goals were kicked in the last quarter.
Yeah, so the first half, though, we leaked like a sieve from kickouts, and they were just merrily going along the wings to each other. The other thing, too, that stood out to me, and I wrote it down, because, you take notes because that's what you do when you watch games. There were 2 incidents in the first quarter where Kelly got caught on Dixon.
I did actually see a highlight with McGrath on Dixon, or McGrath and Finlayson.
McGrath was on Finlayson and Kelly was on Dixon. I'm like, what the f has happened here? Like, and there was another incident where Kelly Dixon took a mark against Kelly. I'm going, now, that shouldn't be. I don't
That's
know what's going
not
on.
what we bought
Laverde's
Cal.
going for a wander or he's going to the toilet. I don't know. Because he shouldn't be leaving Dixon's side. He's the perfect matchup.
No.
And it showed throughout the rest of the game. Like, again, they fixed that up in the third quarter. And every time there was a constant contest, Laverde was there. And he was big enough to move him or even outmarked him or just sort of fell on him and, made him not mark it.
The third quarter in isolation was pretty amazing, really. When you think about how we play in the wet normally, us and our little privileged Marvel Stadium home ground.
We are horrible in the wet.
Horrible. So to kick 4 unanswered, get it back within a kick or within 2 kicks maybe, that's really encouraging. I don't want to. I hate the whole honourable loss thing. I'm not saying honourable loss, but I'm looking for moments and bits and bobs that we can carry forward and go, well, we might win a couple more games. There's something there.
Yeah. I think the biggest issue at the moment is between our ears, is that the players are devoid of confidence and are struggling with a game plan that they're not confident in as well because of it's cost them, in a lot of games we've been heavily scored against. And they don't know what to do, I think, at stages. And this shows when teams are splitting us apart, I reckon they're in this mindset between, are we up being attacking defenders or are we, getting back and defending? And they're not getting that right because you saw that in the third quarter when the ball was pressed into our forward 50 and Port were trying to kick it out. We'd continually take a mark and push it back in. And that was the difference. And that's when you could see it working, but there's got to be a better balance.
And that's good too, is that it does work sometimes. Right? Footy's going to have ebbs and flows. And,
exactly.
We've seen Melbourne lose for the first time in what feels like forever.
After Sam said it couldn't happen.
Well, after we talked about whether or not they could go undefeated, you prick. And then old flag mantle come in. But just a little bit, because now that thing between the ears is like, oh shit, well, that third quarter against Port Adelaide that one time, it worked. Like, that's what I got to do. And I would have hoped that we got that from the Hawthorn game, and then we kind of went to shit against Sydney.
You're right.
But being interstate, again, I know we didn't win. That's the shit bit.
Yeah.
Interstate, 5 or 6 goals down.
Yep.
To bring it back in the second half in the driving rain. That's the sort of shit you can build on. It's not massive.
And the only reason we're 5 or 6 goals down is just because we just could not kick straight, And this is what I think it is. This part of between the ears thing, and there's a skill issue. Obviously, we are not good enough. That's the basics of it right there. Our skill and decision making is at best questionable.
I just add there.
Yeah.
I read an article today of the players that we've lost. And the players not in that side.
This year or the last?
From last year to this year. It is insane. I almost sat there and went, geez, maybe we're a bit too hard on this mob, but maybe not. When you think about Hooker and Waller for the goals they've kicked, massive. Stringer, he's not in that side. Langford.
And he kicked 40 goals last year.
Yep. Langer's played most games last year.
He's a very important player to our structure.
There was more than that, but it was a bit like, great story, bro.
Really hit that point, Sam.
But even to lose the forwards, or 90 goals between Hooker, Waller, and Stringer.
Yeah, and that's the big issue is at the moment is that we have to rebuild. For one, we have no forward pressure. We struggle with forward pressure. Our small forwards, Wangani did a few things, but he's still a kid. Like he doesn't want to tackle. I like that about him. But Smith kicked 2 points and really should have passed both of them off.
Yeah, we expect nothing from Wanganeen though at this point.
No, exactly, which is great to see him playing. What's his name? Waterman is an interesting case because they sent him to the midfield for a little bit, but I just he's not good enough. He's not. Well, there's 2 moments in the last quarter. Okay. He got tackled by Alir, and that's fair enough. That can happen. I don't think anyone to kick to, so he was trying to run as far as he could, and then put it on the boot and get it down there. Well, the second one, he had a set shot, and I think he kicked it out of bounds on the full. And I'm like, got to make better moments.
My smack moment was that chase down. had the ball. Aliir. Like, number one, you probably should be outrunning Aliir when you're not the height.
Yeah,
He's quick, but he's a big guy. So I'd expect some smaller guys to run away from him. And two, it's just lack of awareness. That drives me up the wall.
My smack moment is in the fourth quarter at about the 7 or 8 minute mark. I want to say something like that. It was. We were coming. We were playing all right, and it was 2 goals in it, I reckon. And they'd taken a mark on about the 60, and they got the guy. It was Drew, I think. It was looking around, and one of their forwards, I can't even remember who it was now, just wandered into space, and no one. They're all guarding grass. They're all pointing at each other. And he just wandered out and took a simple, like, there was no one within 10 meters of him when he marked it. And he was probably 40 out. And I went, oh, God, that's horrible defense. You know, everyone was just like, no, he's your man. No, you get, no. I was like, oh, God.
And that is inherently the problem of marking space. What's it called? Zoning.
Yeah, zoning.
So when you're not very good at it, or when you're still learning it.
When you've got no confidence in your
unfortunately.
other players. I think there's, again, confidence in the other teammates.
That too. Bit of trust.
Trust.
It's amazing that these teams that win flags are so perfect in everything they do. They're well drilled. They might lose games of football, but you get what you expect from them every week. Just about. It's unreal. Moving on to a couple of other things. The VFLW women are confirmed minor premiers.
Woohoo!
Undefeated. Just the 2 draws, the only blemishes on their record.
And they play Hawthorn this week.
Yep. Who are second still? I believe, is that right? And Essendon VFL men's had their first win.
Woohoo!
Pretty intense finish.
Did you see that last little set play?
No, I missed all of it.
Oh, so I only saw
that. Like
it was
6
on
seconds
Twitter.
left.
One of the guys on Twitter posted the last. Yeah, so it was like a mark dropped in the 40 meters out on the pocket, and I can't remember the name of the Essendon players. Not one of our senior lists, or maybe senior listed, but I don't know him. He picked it up and kicked it, and as it was bouncing, the siren went, and then it went through.
Oh my God.
And when she went through for a point, scores were even at that time. It was a point. And all the Essendon players, hey! And all the opposition, Coburg, no, I can't remember who it was there. Yeah, they were all just dropped to the ground and oh. I remember that.
So that's good. That's nice. Coburg are second last, but it's nice. We were winless until that point. So absolutely take that.
Probably we like if we beat West Coast by a point.
I wouldn't take that. I wouldn't accept that shit. But some good names getting some football. So Baldwin 3 goals, Francis kicked 2, Hurd kicked 1 goal 4, which he's done that a couple of times now, but he's getting shots at goal, which is good to see.
I would like to see him play a game before the end of the year, to be honest, to see what he's like in the senior stuff.
I would have thought he'd come in for that game against Hawthorn where we lost 1,000 players, but we'll see. Tommy Cutler, 33 touches. Don't reckon Tom Cutler's ever had 33 touches in his life.
Well, look, he's a player that's good enough quality to dominate in the VFL at that sort of a game, I reckon.
I would hope so, yeah.
Because he's good enough to play AFL.
Nick Bryan, 47 hitouts and 14 touches.
That's a lot of hitouts.
Game compared to his opponent.
A sore hand.
21 for the Coburg Ruckman, whose name I'm not even going to begin to pronounce. That's Polish or something like that. So yeah, that's some positive news for your Monday night. AFL women's still a little bit away, obviously.
I hope they at least make the grand final, whatever happens on that day.
Well, at least we'll have something to get around.
I tell you what, they have recruited. I've noticed on Twitter that they've brought in a lot of players from other clubs, so they're building.
They've really pickpocketed some other clubs. It's great.
What was our slogan in the 2006? There, we're building something. No, we're.
Oh, they know we're coming. Was Carlton?
Yeah, no, that was what was it? Was something. What was our horrible slogan that they painted over? I can still remember
whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
It's banned. The banned phrase at the Essendon Football Club. That's just
that was hilarious,
isn't it?
Such a bad timing for that.
For our award-winning marketing department too.
That really. Sorry.
That's all right.
Hilarious that was.
Just don't pass out. I don't need you passing out live.
My take on the game was that we were bad, but we
not
were
that bad.
Better. We still got issues.
Yeah.
I read somewhere, and I don't know how much of a stat this is. I'll just go to my stat. Yes. I don't know how accurate this stat is, I should say. We've beaten 2 top 8 sides in the past 56 games.
Yeah, I reckon that works.
Which that tells you where you're at, really, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Because we were at a stage where we were beating all the
anyway.
teams below us, and we'd sort of battle with the teams around our mark, but we couldn't really beat teams above us.
Yeah. Normally how it works. Can I have your votes, please? And then we'll get into the Who Am I, everyone's favourite segment. Now, I have done mine purely based on stats, but I have copied yours. So you tell everyone yours, and we'll
I gave Paris 3. I just loved his game.
Yep.
I gave 2 to Nick Martin. The kid is class. I can't help but be impressed. And it's Sammy Durham. Very great. Probably his best game for the club, I would say, with the 1. And could have got the 2, but I'm a big fan of Nick Martin. So that's just the way I'm going to roll.
I did do the same based on highlights and what I've been told. So again, I apologise. All right. Life happens. All right. Last, but certainly not least. Well, actually, there's a few more things. Anyway, who am I? You overachieved.
Didn't I last week? Got a text from a mate, actually.
Did you?
5 points. He goes, 5 points.
You're famous.
He's on the tractor at the moment farming, so, you know.
Yeah,
he's got to listen. He's listening to our podcast, the poor bastard.
Yeah. Yeah. I think my father-in-law, technically, he drives trucks, so he listens to us, but I'm pretty sure just out of sheer boredom more than anything else.
Yep.
Right, for 6 points. Oh, this might actually be really easy. I played 324 games of AFL football.
That's a lot.
That is a lot of football.
We're Essendon.
I can't answer questions. I'm here to ask.
Okay. 324 games of football. Tim Watson.
No, thank God.
He's played 300 something, I think.
I debuted
Debuted
in 1983.
Danny's
got it, and Danny's got it off the 6 point.
Danny,
you're Googling it. You get it every bloody week, mate. Oh,
I think Danny should be. Danny, can you write it next week?
Yeah, you do it. We'll guess it. That's a good one, actually.
Hey, Danny, you're doing it next week.
Sorry, 1983, yes.
Yep, debuted in 83. Who would have been young in our early premiership stuff? No, Mark Harvey. He didn't play that many games. No, I don't know.
No, not Mark Harvey. For 4 points, I'm a 2-time premiership player.
84 and 85. Oh, I'm still guessing at the same bloody ones. Terry Danaher?
Nope.
No, he would have played them all.
Now,
he wouldn't have debuted that late. Yeah. Anyway, go.
You did just make a big fat assumption, which is incorrect. I will tell you that.
Oh, the Essendon. It's not Essendon. That's right.
I played for 2 AFL clubs.
What?
14 seasons at Essendon and 5 at a rival club.
Don't like it.
He's a very popular man, I think. That's my perception of it. He might not be, but...
No idea.
For 2 points, I might be a fish.
Oh, Paul Salmon! Oh, I forgot about Paul. Did he debut in
83? Yep. Spent 5 years at Hawthorn and
324 games with those dodgy knees.
Yep. Won 1984 or 5, only one of them, and 93.
I reckon he did knees.
He kicked 2000.
He was in that game where he kicked like 11 up one end and he did his hamstring. And I think it was Adelaide up the other end who'd kicked like 14 or something like that.
Back in the good old days.
And he did, apparently Fish did his like hamstring at the third quarter and he sort of was like, oh, I better go off. And Sheedy said, get it back out there and see if we can kick a couple more.
He was a big boy.
Oh,
205 centimeters and 112 kilos. That's a solid.
And could mark awkward kicking action, but worked. He kicked in his first year. He kicked, did his knee, and he had like 70 on the board already in about round 11.
So his first season, 1983, he kicked 14 goals. In 84, he had 63 goals, but his first game was in round 10.
Yeah, he did his knee. Or must have done his knee. He did his knee a couple of times. He had dodgy knees, the old Fish. Oh, great player. One of my favourites, number 3.
Yeah,
Parrish's number.
I actually didn't give you the number clue this week because I thought you'd.
I would have got it if you'd given me the number clue. That's fish. I like fish.
Yeah, big fish. All right. Well, so well done you. You did get there. Well done, Danny, you freak.
Danny, well done. Danny's doing it next week.
Some other guesses in there were Job. No, Jordan. I'm sorry. Alfie said Hurdy and then said Willie Dick because old mate's not here. What's his name? Who always guesses Willie Dick? I'm sorry.
Oh, Sam.
Murray.
Murray.
Muzz mustn't be here. The one I should do Willie Dick.
Family's probably got in the way, Sam.
Hey, it happens. Rick did just comment. I thought it was 1984 he debuted because he did his knee in 84 and had 60 goals by round 10. Look, I use AFL tables and it is generally pretty accurate. So
I thought it was something like that. I thought he kicked a bunch and then did his knee, was my memory, but I'm not.
Hang on. Oh, no, sorry. You're right. He definitely debuted in 1983, right? Round 1, 1983, he debuted. Yep. Game 10 in 1984. His 10th game was round 1. So from round 1 to 13, he kicked 63 goals and then didn't play for the rest of the year.
That's pretty good going. Imagine had someone 63 goals, in a couple of weeks in their footy right now. What are they on? 25 at the moment or 30? I don't know.
He kicked 11 goals, 4 in a game of football against Richmond, which is insane. 11 goals, 3 against West Coast the following season. That's mad. I miss the days that I really didn't get to experience.
You missed the days you didn't have?
Yeah, basically. 9 goals against Adelaide. Jesus. All right. Well done, Big Fish. Now, I want to ask your opinion before we wrap up very quickly on
any comments?
A few things.
Comments?
Yeah, we'll get there. Stress less. Who's the host?
Oh, no, it's just that you were before we... Sorry.
Pipe down, Chachi.
Okay,
a few moments over the weekend that I want to just mention, maybe more than discuss. So obviously Melbourne have lost. Fremantle back on track. That's massive. Carlton losing to Collingwood was actually a great end to a game of football. Weedering out for 6 weeks with a shoulder, which is very convenient.
Which I don't mean to be the sicko in this, but that's great for us who play him after the bye.
Does help. I'm not one to celebrate injuries at all.
I'm not one to celebrate, but I will a little bit.
For my Peter Wright crush and for our chances, that is very...
Yeah, and for Harry Jones, that'll be like if Harry Jones, Peter Wright, and
stretches their defence just a little bit. Now the big one that I want to talk about is Friday night, Richmond against Sydney. Now I want to preface this with a little throwback to I don't know how long ago, 2018-19. David Myers takes a mark, gets a free kick about 60 out, and as his siren goes, we're down by a couple of points. Siren goes. Dane Rampe climbs the post.
Like halfway up the bloody thing.
Gives it a little shake, right? Now, the AFL rules, I looked it up at the time. I don't remember it exactly verbatim, but it was pretty clear you can't do that. And if you do that, it is a free kick or 50. Right? So that should have been 50. Like black and white, and the AFL come out and tick that off. Good times. Fast forward to Friday night. Dion Prestia gets held with a second left, about 70 out, maybe.
Yep.
A whistle goes, siren goes. Chad Warner kicks the ball into the crowd. Yeets it into the crowd. The umpire, it's a shit show. Umpires pay the free kick, and then they kind of get the ball back. Richmond players are kind of arguing. The controlling umpire says, I think it should be 50.
Oh, really? I didn't.
Yep. His mates off wherever they are in the microphone. Nah, not 50, not 50. Nah, mate, not 50. Controlling umpire goes, oh yeah, nah, not 50. Sorry, guys. It's just common sense. 3 seconds after wanting to give 50.
Common sense. The umpires aren't allowed to use that phrase.
Now, there's a few things here I'll say, and then I'll let you talk. One, not hearing the whistle is very rarely an excuse.
Oh, it's never 50 ever
is paid for that regularly. If the free kick's paid and forward runs on and kicks a goal, the umpire will pay it whether they've heard the whistle or not.
Yep.
2, the fact he said, I think it should be 50 and then preached common sense is hilarious.
Well, it sounded like he was more pressured into it with the other two saying the other thing.
Which is also an issue.
Yep.
My biggest thing with this is it wasn't 50. The AFL come out the next day and said, "Yep, nah, right decision. It's not 50." If that had have been paid as a 50-metre penalty, and Richmond kick a goal and draw, wasn't to win, just draw.
Yep.
The AFL would have come out and said, "Yep, right decision."
Oh, of course they would have.
That's shit. How is that okay in a professional sport? That we could do that. We could say, "Yep, this is right," but also the exact opposite is also right.
Well, this is the problem with the AFL at the moment, is that they've gone so hard on some of these rules, like the dissent. And I watched the game, I think it was the Suns versus whoever the hell they were playing, I can't remember. And the guy looked at the umpire and just went blah 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 blah, and everyone and the commentators were, well, that's clearly dissent. Like that is the most clear. Like this guy really let rip, and it was the most
50.
clear cut of dissent we've seen. No 50 was given, and we went, well, what?
Oh, this game's a joke.
Well, what chat? Going back to Warner, he was the one the week before that got the 50 against him for when he bounced it, and the umpire called it.
He just asked for clarification,
and he just went, but I bounced it. Like he didn't.
Yeah. So
it's consistency. We can't handle inconsistency.
On this one, were you camp 50 or camp not 50?
Oh, look, it's a 50 because it's a free kick and he kicked the ball away. The only way I reckon it's not is if in the rules, because the siren has gone, the ball is dead. So it doesn't matter if he gives it back to him in a hurry or not, because that's the only thing I'm not sure of. And this is where I expect commentators and people that are professionals to know the rules.
Yeah. So finally, and then I'll read some comments.
Yeah, go.
Essendon Fremantle, whatever that was, it happened. We got a free kick on the wing right on half time.
Yep.
The siren went, and the Fremantle bloke dropped the ball.
Yes, I remember that.
The siren went, and we got 50.
100%. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, you've got your example. See, that's the consistency we want to see.
And he
missed the set shot too.
And we did miss it. That annoyed me, but because it was a shit 50. I didn't think that was 50 at the time, to be honest. But by the letter of the law,
it shouldn't be a 50 because once the siren's gone, the game is dead. You can throw the ball away if you want.
I think the difference is he would have heard the whistle. Because there's like three people there.
Hearing the whistle has never been an excuse.
I agree, 100%. I thought it was 50, but whatever. The game would have gone to shit if it was. Like, honestly.
I mean, the positive though is that Richmond lost, so I'm just gonna.
That is a positive. Haven't seen Chris here tonight. Some comments from the good people, and then we will wrap up. Alan Beer, fantastic surname there, Alan. Hind played well in the wet, so did Hobbs. Shield is hopeless turnover king. I did hear good things about Hobbs being a mini Parish, or something I heard.
Yeah, it was good. He missed a set shot though.
Okay. Jordan was here and ready
kick goals
before we even went live, so good stuff, Jordan. Parish so good in the wet. The old dinosaur spoke. To every member, you should have an email. I believe that's Paul Brasher he's referring to.
Yeah.
Alfie's back.
Hey, Alfie.
Say we sell the farm to get Horn Francis, trade Shield for a late first, and trade that and our first for him. Guys, a bull. So Shield and first round pick for Horn Francis. Couple of flaws in that plan, Alfie. One, I don't think Shield's worth a first round pick anymore, for starters. Oh. Two, we're not trading around our first round pick this year.
I have a bad feeling about Horn Francis.
He seems like a dick, doesn't he?
Not a little bit of a dick. He's just a little bit dicky.
We want to use our draft picks anyway.
We were talking before this started, Alfie, about a player called Darcy Fogarty, who apparently is a key forward at Adelaide, who has apparently been linked to Brisbane, but I don't know why key forward would want to go to Brisbane.
Yeah, they got a few. Well, if Adelaide's McStay, it'd be the only.
Well, anyway, for me, it was more like, well, he's interested in leaving Adelaide. Is he someone we look at? That's all.
He's a good player. He's a solid boy. And
12 or something like that.
Slot in to our forward line.
Good set shot, big unit. Probably do a bit of fitness, but country boy from South Australia. So I don't know how true that rumor is, but it's just an interesting one.
It is, and it's always interesting when players want to leave clubs. I'd be more thinking it could happen if he was coming to a Melbourne club. I think if he's going to Brisbane, then Melbourne's a bit of a, bit of a sidestep.
Well, maybe he's interested in Brisbane because it's it's a big small town. Well, you're not moving to a big city.
Not in the spotlight, Joe.
Yeah.
I mean, Darcy. Rick has a good comment here, and I'm going to sort of paraphrase it and give you just the options he's given with minimal discussion because we're over time. Who do you think we should target in the trade period, even though we would be linked with every player in the comp and probably get no one? Who do the Bombers target? He's given me a list of players. So rather than open-ended question, I'm going to give you a list of those players and then you can just tell me who you'd pick.
I'll just go yes, no, shall I?
Okay, well, yes, no, that works for me.
Yep.
DeGoey.
No.
Taranto.
Yes.
Hopper.
He's a big tall. For his height, yeah, because he's a very tall. I think he's a tall midfielder. So
go with
we're talking about Hopper from GWS.
So I don't know him from Barra.
Yeah, I'd say maybe.
Maybe. Okay. Dunkley.
Dunkley from as in the Bulldogs.
Yep, that guy.
Oh, we can't get him, but
re-signed, I think.
Yeah, I'd love to get him. 100%. That's a yes, but he's not leaving that club.
Not obtainable. And Bobby Hill.
It's a testicular cancer.
What?
Yeah, he's taking time out of football.
Who? Bobby
Hill.
Really?
Well, that's it was announced yesterday. I was reading about it. Come on, Sam. Keep up with these things. The Bobby Hill one's interesting because we're going to get a Davey, I assume. I'm making an assumption. He's at the moment in the first round. They're talking maybe in pick 12. They're both crafty. Well, I think one plays a half-back role and the other one plays a small forward role. So if we can get one of them, then
the needs.
I don't know.
There.
Yeah. I don't know what Bobby Hill would have to give up to get Bobby Hill. If we're going to just get Davey, then I'll just say Davey. Thanks.
Yeah, fair enough. Apparently Dunkley hasn't signed. So there you go.
Oh, there you go. I'd definitely be chasing Dunkley.
He does do a YouTube channel with Adam Trelaw. They seem like biffles. And I think his relationships that may have been an issue when we were looking at him before may not be an issue.
I think he's made good mates with Trelaw.
Yeah,
and but definitely, if you could get Dunkley out of there, he'd be the price because he'd be
he's a good
no
player.
offense, upgrade on Stringer in that he plays every week. Well, Stringer's a great player, let's be honest. But Stringer, what's he going to be like as a 33-year-old?
Well, he already basically is one.
Well, he's 27 now. It wouldn't be 28. Maybe he's 28. And he is like, we cannot get him right.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. I love trade period because what Rick said, we do get linked with seemingly everyone. And that one time we did get them, they were all massive letdowns in the end, apart from
Stringer. I to be honest, unless you're getting a Taranto or a Dunkley, I wouldn't go after anyone else. I would be what's it called? Moneyballing it for guys like Darcy Fogarty's or how well we did with Peter Wrights, or looking at where we've got weaknesses, small forwards, extra tall defenders, things like that, and just picking that one spot, that one player.
The only way I want to see us losing a first-round pick by a trade is a key position player, not a midfielder.
I don't want another midfielder. We can go to the draft. At the moment, we've got pick 3.
Yeah, we'll get a good one.
Like we will get a high-end talent as a midfielder, and probably if we can work our way into if that'll give us pick 20, whatever one, then we could pick up a Davey then as a father-son. Like if you can get a midfielder and a small forward that are both meant to be first-round picks, and you get them in the first 2, then that's good drafting.
Yep. All right, we're gonna wrap up. We've taken up plenty of your time on a Monday night. I don't think we're planning anything over the bye week.
The bye. We get off, yay! No Thursday night.
If you have any suggestions, do let us know in the comments and we'll have a think. Otherwise, we'll be back on the Thursday before the Carlton game, which will be the 9th of June, I believe.
Did you buy a ticket for the special gala thing, the special dinner?
No.
You see how much they were?
Yes.
And you see they also said black tie? I'm like, who the fuck's got a black? Who's got a...
Well, what? The best and fairest is always a bit of a suit sort of affair.
Yeah, but not
lounge
this
suit.
Specifically said black tie. Like, so you have to wear a white shirt, black, well, I guess so, and a black,
not into that sort of stuff. I'm happy to go to the best and fairest because you have a few frothies with some mates and
couple of frothies.
listen to Kevin Sheedy bang on for about 3 hours. It's great.
Yeah. They must be sick of telling the same stories, some of those football players.
Oh my God. Kevin Sheedy just waffles. Speaking of waffling, we are waffling.
All
So
right.
yeah, we'll, unless we get some good comments, then good ideas, we're not going to do a podcast just for the sake of it. So we'll be back for the Carlton.
Unless we draft some very interesting players.
Or that as well. That might happen.
On Wednesday night, yeah.
Or me and Nathan can just sit here and talk rubbish for half an hour. Which
well, we could do a little short.
Anyway.
Yeah, we could do a little short or something.
Little short. Right. On that bombshell, thank you for listening. Thanks to the guys in the comments live on Facebook and wherever you're listening. We appreciate you. Go Dons.
Go Bombers.